Hey everyone, and welcome back to EverCurious, the place where mysteries meet knowledge. Today, we're diving into one of the most baffling archaeological puzzles ever found. Imagine a circular piece of fired clay, about the size of your hand, stamped with strange symbols that no one on Earth has been able to read. This is the Phaistos Disc. Is it a prayer? A secret code? An ancient board game? A clever hoax? Or could it be something entirely out of this world? Let's crack open the past and find out.
EverCurious, learn what you love.
Our story begins in 1908, inside the ruins of the magnificent Minoan palace of Phaistos on the Greek island of Crete. An Italian archaeologist named Luigi Pernier was excavating a small, hidden underground room when he uncovered something incredible. It was a disc of clay, unusually well preserved, covered in symbols that spiraled from the edge toward the center. But what made it truly unique wasn't just the strange symbols themselves. It was how they were applied. Each individual sign was stamped into the clay, not carved by hand. This makes the Phaistos Disc the earliest known example of movable type printing in human history. That's right, more than 3,000 years before Gutenberg and his printing press revolutionized the world. This single object suggests a technological leap we never knew the ancient world was capable of. So, what's actually on the disc? Let's take a closer look. The disc contains 241 stamped symbols in total, carefully arranged into 61 groups or words. Among these, there are 45 unique and distinct symbols. Some of them are recognizable figures, like a man running, a warrior wearing a helmet with a plume, a ship with its mast raised, a shield, and even what appears to be a mother holding a child. Others are more abstract, like geometric shapes or depictions of things like a plucked flower. Some of these images feel familiar, like snapshots from a lost world. Others look almost alien, completely foreign to anything else we've discovered from that era. But the biggest mystery of all is this: these symbols appear nowhere else in the entire archaeological record. Not on pottery, not on walls, not in any other form of writing. We simply can't compare them to anything. And without a point of comparison, reading them becomes nearly impossible. This brings us to the million-dollar question: what language is it? This is where scholars start pulling their hair out. We know the Minoans had their own writing systems. First, there was Cretan hieroglyphics, and later, the famous linear script. But the symbols on the Phaistos Disc don't match either of them. They are completely unique. Over the years, several leading theories have emerged. The first theory is that it represents a lost Minoan script. Some researchers believe this was a third, undiscovered writing system that the Minoans used, which simply didn't survive the passage of time. If that's the case, the disc might be the only example of it that we ever find, a lone survivor of a forgotten language. Another popular theory is that it's a foreign language, because some of the symbols, like the plumed helmet, resemble artifacts found in Anatolia and the Near East. Some scholars argue the disc wasn't made on Crete at all. They suggest it might have come from Luwian speakers in ancient Turkey, or perhaps from the Cycladic Islands, or even other coastal cultures in the region. But again, we run into the same problem. There are no exact matches anywhere. The symbols remain stubbornly unique. Finally, there's the theory about its structure. Most experts believe it's either a syllabary, where each symbol represents a syllable, or a logographic script, where each symbol represents a whole word, much like Egyptian hieroglyphs. But without a bilingual text to help us, a Rosetta Stone for the Phaistos Disc, any attempt at translation is pure speculation. We're left with a puzzle that has all the pieces but no picture on the box to guide us. Given that we can't read it, what could it possibly mean? The theories about its purpose are just as varied and fascinating as the symbols themselves. Scholars have proposed almost everything imaginable. One of the most popular ideas is that it's a religious hymn or a prayer. The repeating patterns and images of figures and nature could be part of a sacred text, perhaps a prayer to a Minoan goddess, with references to harvests, warriors, and rituals. The spiral form could represent an eternal cycle or a chant meant to be read aloud in a ceremony. Another strong possibility is that it's a calendar or a ritual guide. The circular layout and the grouped symbols could be a way of marking important dates, like festivals, agricultural cycles, or celestial events. It might have been a tool for priests or community leaders to guide ceremonial sequences or even perform divination rituals, using the symbols to predict the future. Then there's the military theory. With symbols like helmets, shields, and arrows, some researchers believe the disc is a practical document, not a religious one. It could be a record of troop movements, a list of military equipment, or a coded message related to a war or a battle. Imagine a Minoan general carrying this as a secret command sheet. But what if it's not even writing in the traditional sense? A few out-of-the-box thinkers propose that it might be a board game piece, with the symbols representing different moves or spaces on a now-lost game board. Others suggest it could be a mnemonic tool, a device to help someone memorize a long story, a poem, or a complex set of instructions. Or maybe it was a symbolic teaching object used to educate children or initiates. And of course, we have to address the most skeptical theory, that the Phaistos Disc is a brilliant hoax. This is a rare view, but some have suggested that Pernier, the archaeologist who found it, or someone else, might have crafted it to make a name for themselves. However, modern scientific analysis has put this theory to rest. Chemical tests show that the clay is authentically ancient, dating back to the Minoan period around 1700 BC. The stamps show consistent aging, and the firing temperature used to harden the clay matches known Minoan pottery techniques perfectly. So, the hoax theory is extremely unlikely. The disc is the real deal. Let's talk for a moment about how this incredible object was made, because that's a mystery in itself. The production method is truly fascinating. As we mentioned, each symbol was created using individual stamps that were pressed into the wet clay before it was fired in a kiln. This suggests the existence of specialized craftsmen who knew how to create these precise stamps and use them effectively. It also implies a standardized set of symbols, meaning this wasn't a one-off artistic creation. The people who made it had a system. This hints at the possibility of mass production. Could there have been hundreds or even thousands of similar discs or documents created with this printing method? If so, why have no others survived? This single disc suggests the Minoans might have experimented with the core concept of printing thousands of years before the rest of the world even dreamed of it. For over a century, the world's brightest minds have tried to crack the code. Archaeologists, linguists, mathematicians, and even computer scientists have all taken a shot at deciphering this ancient writing. They've used every tool at their disposal: frequency analysis to see which symbols appear most often, symbol clustering to identify patterns, linguistic comparisons to other ancient languages, and even advanced AI algorithms to detect hidden structures in the text. Dozens of translations have been published over the years, each one claiming to have finally solved the puzzle. But every single one of them eventually hits a brick wall. Why? Because a single artifact is simply not enough data. We don't know the language it's written in. We don't even know for sure which direction to read it, though most scholars agree it's likely clockwise, from the outside spiraling in. We don't know its grammatical structure. We don't know if the symbols represent sounds, syllables, or entire words. Trying to decode the Phaistos Disc is like trying to understand the entire English language from a single, mysterious fortune cookie. It's a tantalizing fragment of a much larger lost world. Ultimately, the Phaistos Disc is more than just an archaeological curiosity. It's a profound reminder that entire civilizations had technologies, languages, and ideas that have completely vanished without a trace. It's a message in a bottle from a world we barely understand. It could be something divine, a sacred text holding the secrets of Minoan faith. It could be something practical, a simple administrative record or a military dispatch. Or it could be something deeply human, a poem, a story, or a child's game. But whatever it is, it sits there in a museum in Crete, silently waiting for someone to finally read its story. If you love this journey into ancient mystery, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to EverCurious, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next adventure. The world is full of unanswered questions, and we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, And as always, stay curious.